Welcome to the 10-Minute Life Lesson Podcast. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. I train people for improved personal and professional development, offering my assistance to those ready to develop their goals into tangible, focused, and achievable plans of action. And this podcast is one of the tools I use to accomplish my mission. Generally, when the timer hits 9 minutes and 59 seconds on this recording, you'll have a fully developed life lesson that you can take with you and begin to implement immediately. And if this week's lesson has a ring of familiar, then it's probably a reinforcement of a life change you've already started to implement. This podcast falls under the umbrella of my greater personal development efforts, all under the Your Better You brand. For more information on accountability coaching or to gain access to tools, tricks, and life hacks, visit yourbetteryou.info. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Now, here is this week's life lesson. One of the things I stress in my lessons is repetition, redoing, relearning, redoing, relearning, redoing, relearning. Constant over and over again practice of the same things, assuming you are doing things in a right or at least close to right way, is a key to learning how to get things done, learning how to get that same thing done better, and eventually mastering that skill. But once a skill is mastered, you have to have some place to take the mastered skill. Star athletes put all their time and effort into practice and into playing against other people of varying talent to get to a level where they can play at the top of their game. Entertainers spend years in the lower levels working on their craft until they get a chance to do it on a daily basis, hopefully getting paid something and eventually working to a megastar type of level where every single day they're doing something on a grand scale and not just doing it in a practiced manner. Now, the biggest problem with these things is it takes a lot of practice to get to a level where you're good enough, but it also takes being in the right place at the right time. Timing is a very key action in people's successes. Even if they don't believe in luck, timing is always an issue. People work to time out their end of their practice sessions or the end of a session where they're working things out to a time where the window is wide open for their abilities to make that audition and take the shot. An athlete, for example, works all the way up through high school and then goes to college knowing that there's a specific time that the drafts will happen for a sport. So they need to be on their very best level when that draft time is coming and the evaluations be available to do whatever they can to convince that big team with the big contract that contract and money should go to them. Same for the entertainers. There's so many things out there they could be doing, but only so many of them are going to be on the grand level scale that will affect them and their future careers. They've got to get on the right stages, get into the right plays, work with the right people, and of course, hit the right concert venues so they get the exposure and, yes, the money to rise up another level and then another level after that. The minor leagues of anything is a tough place to be, but the minor leagues is where you're going to have to be till you get good enough to be in a major league situation. But you also have to make sure that you are available when that time comes. Having too many extracurriculars, which is not the good type of extracurricular, but too many extra things going on in your life will make it hard for you to take that chance when it comes on. Now, granted, most of us don't start off with a fair lot in life, and we have things settled on us right now that make it hard to just get the practice in, let alone take that shot. But as you get closer and closer to realizing that you do have the ability to try to make that dream come true, and there are the actual avenues, you have windows that can come around that you can take, it's very important to make sure that you are clearing out as much of the excess clutter as possible to make sure you have a free jump to wherever's going on. And there's some things that aren't so easy to get rid of. Some people have family issues and some people have families that make it impossible for them to get around to do things. Some people have other limitations that just don't make it easy to make things work. The problem is, the only sort of answer I can give you to that is you have to make it work. You've got to start with a support system that is going to support you. That's not going to just give lip service to your dreams. They're going to actually give you help when you need it. Some of these seem like simple things, such as a couple hours of childcare, a ride to the airport, a couple bucks to get you by until you can go pick up the wallet that you've dropped someplace, things like that, to the major things, the actual opening of doors to a great opportunity, offering someone up a great deal that will help them get past something, and, of course, just being there for moral support when no one else seems to be around. Opportunities come more often than you believe, but your chance to take on those opportunities get really, really complicated with the way your life goes right now. You can't take auditions if you have a full-time job, so a lot of people who are aspiring actors spend a lot of time with gig-type jobs, driving for Uber or the old traditional working in a restaurant gig to make sure they're paying the bills until the big gig comes along for them to pay the bills. So that's one way to be available, and it's really tough when you have to sort of downshift and lower your standards in some cases to wait for the big standard to come, but that's just the way it works out in most cases. You've got to have a good support system, people who can help you around. You've got to have the availability or the time-wise to get in and out to take those opportunities. And the most important thing, sometimes the hardest thing to really handle, is you've got to have the talent. You've got to have enough background work to get yourself in the door. You don't necessarily have to be a polished diamond when you show up, but you at least have to be carbon. At least you have to be there, at least be in the zone for them to take. So one thing that's really hard for people who are pushing for dreams is they don't have a real grasp of what having that dream is going to take, what actual level of talent and ability they must actually have to get in the door and to stay in the game. I use a lot of sports analogies because I do sports, and that's just how it goes. But it's really, really crushing when you watch that guy, that one guy who is struggling to play a different game in different leagues in different cities and different countries, if you will, just to stay relevant enough to hopefully get back into the big leagues. This is something that is large for folks in the NBA here in the States. A lot of people who get drafted out of college or maybe come in from other countries that come in, get a taste of what's going on, and then find out they don't have enough talent to stay on the active roster in what we think of as the best basketball association in the world. They go to play for other places just to stay relevant. With all the after-school special like PSAs we give to athletes, student athletes, young people to make sure you have some sort of backup, make sure that you are getting your study on and getting a degree and getting some sort of path just in case the sports thing doesn't work out or doesn't work out the way you think. Plenty of people that you think are smart enough to do other things will struggle and push and contend to go to the ends of the earth to continue to play the sport because that's what they love, that's what they know, and eventually they think they can switch back over to something larger. We see that a lot in entertainment, but we also see that a lot in just general business because the business world seems like it's a gamble, or it seems like it's so easy anyone can show up with a kind of half-decent idea and make $1 million off it. People think you just show up, you have a half-decent idea, and people will throw something at you if you play your cards right. But if you don't, you're stuck with debt or disappointment or something that you have to clean up on the back end that may soil your reputation, if you will. It's very important for everyone out there to realize that you have to put in the work, the cuts, the practice to be good enough to do what you want to do. You also have to be available when the opportunity shows up to be as good as you can so that you can get started. That doesn't guarantee you'll stay in there, but you've got to be available when the opportunity is there. And if your life does not allow for that, then you have to deal with some things on there. That's something that I take in personally as I look at balancing my business, balancing my opportunities, and balancing my duties as a family man and my duties at an actual job that sort of needs me every day. It pays the bills, so I have to put more focus on that at times than the side business. It is what it is. But if an opportunity is opening up, if a window is there for something for me to do for my personal business, I do whatever I can to clear the schedule of all I need to take care of. The family has what they need. The job is running smoothly, and no one that I know is going to interrupt with something crazy during my opportunity. They know what's happening, and they allow me to do it. That's the key here. Having people that know what you're doing and will do what they can to help you get there is what's going to make it work out. Get the practice in so you know what you're doing, have support systems so that they can help you get there, and always have your eyes open because when you see the opportunity is coming, you will have plenty of time to prepare for it if you prepare yourself for those opportunities. Thank you for downloading the podcast this week. We are so glad, so blessed that you are living with us in this journey for being a little bit better every single day. For my help on that, check out the website, yourbetteryou.info, home to this podcast and our other podcast, Steps to Your Better You, which is even quicker. This one is a life lesson in 10 minutes. That one, it's all done 90 seconds and you're out. Check it out. Comes out weekly as well. Every single Wednesday, that one is released while this one released on Fridays. For more information about what we can do, go to the website, as we said, and look for the coaching section. If you need some personal coaching, some long-term coaching, or just quick accountability coaching, we have a package to help you out. Check us out there and see what we can do for you. Ask me a question by sending emails to yourbetteryouinfo@gmail.com and find out what's going on in the outside world of everything else J. Cleveland Payne by checking out jclevelandpayne.net or emailing me to ask at jclevelandpayne@gmail.com. We are blessed to have you, as we said. Some days it gets a little more weirder than others. Opportunities in the past couple of weeks have been a little bit on the short side as the windows open for this business, and these talks have been stymied by day job stuff. The not so secret to a lot of these people doing these podcasts is it's coming out of their own pockets, out of their own work, and on their outside schedules. So the outside stuff can't take priority to the things that put food on the table, and that's how things are. But we always find as much time as we can to get this thing out, and we appreciate you guys nudging us when it doesn't come out on time. So thank you for that. Thank you for listening. Make sure you are subscribed to this podcast wherever your pods are subscribed to. We're on all the big platforms, and if there's a platform that you're on that you can't find us, let us know. We'll try our best to catch up to it. In the meantime, see you next week. 10 minutes, it's all I'm asking of you for a life lesson that you can walk away with and use right now from the 10-Minute Life Lesson Podcast from yourbetteryou.info.